YouTube. What's going on? Twitch as well. I know what you're thinking. Wow, Shiz. It looks like you had another bright idea. Alright. Somebody clip that and send it to E. And she's gonna fall upon the ground and cry. There she is. What's up, E? How you doing? How you doing, Blesty? What's up, girl? Okay. Fun fact. Tonight, I am giving you a deep dive into my stream deck. Whether you're a streamer friend, whether you're a curious viewer, or you just have nothing better to watch. I've done a couple of setup videos. I've not given you like the in-depth like the deep dive into my stream deck. So that's what we're doing tonight. I've been wanting to do this for a while. We're doing it tonight. But fun fact, I have both of my webcams are Logitech cameras. This is what my webcam looks like every time I turn on OBS. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how I optimized fixing this. So we're going to do this. And that is what my stream deck looks like now. Derek, how you doing, Blesty? Not my bestie, my Blesty. Alright? Derek is on that level. Let the record state we have video evidence, okay? So, the stream deck, if you didn't know, by Elgato, is quite possibly my favorite thing in the fucking world, okay? This is what it looks like. It is a 32 button, basically fancy macro board that is on my desk. This combined with my PC Panel Pro, which is my audio controller. Quite literally, I cannot do what I do now without these anymore. Like the way I have it set up, because naturally, you know, as you're, if I look back at a VOD from like 6 years ago, it's very simple, and you know, shit got progressively crazy. Like it started with this. It started with Stream Deck Mobile. I figured let's try it out, right? So I had 15 buttons on my tablet, and this is, I'm gonna tell you right now the lore. If you're not up to speed, okay? The lore is that when I got my phone, 2 phones ago, I got a free tablet, and then my dad got a free or upgraded his phone at the same time, and he got a free tablet. Okay. So when I stand, when I do this, in the back of my chair. Okay, it's not gonna show you right now, but actually, I could wait. I could show you. I could show you. Thanks to my stream deck. Thanks to my stream deck, I could show you. I have a tablet, and I tie wrapped a phone stand on the back of my DX Racer. The pillow elastic holds it in place, and so when I stand, because I can't really see the chat on my monitor from there, so when I'm standing, my chair is in front of me and I have a tablet right in front of me. And I know you're thinking that's bougie, but like I just said, I literally had 2 free tablets that I wasn't using. So I thought to myself, how can I integrate these into my system, into my streaming setup? And so here we go. Why did that not work? Okay, so real quick, I'm going to show you something. So as you can see, if I actually show you OBS, Pog, we have the technology. Look at this. If I go into my webcam and I go into properties and I go into configure video, you can see we have all the specific things. Yes? Every one of these fucking things gets reset every time I open OBS. So I set up via the cam control plugin by BarRaider. I set up multi-action that sets up both of my cameras. So it has the values zoom, it has focus, it has exposure, sharpness, white balance, gain on each camera. And the only reason, literally, that I have Logitech G Hub is because you cannot turn off auto white balance or autofocus in OBS without manually clicking the things. And so I have Logitech G Hub just so that those are disabled. Because obviously, especially with a green screen, you want everything to be consistent all the time. But the combination of the Logitech G Hub. And this is, I press this button and I am good. Before, I had to manually remember what the white balance was, what the zoom was, what the gain was, everything. And I had to manually change everything. As you can see right now, everything's perfect. And if I do this, boom, we're good. Everything looks and sounds Gucci. So, pretty snazzy, you know? Would you not agree? Gonna find the time to hit Diamond 1 in Roblox when I have gamer coins substain. Okay, I see. I see. So, alright. Again, I don't know how long this is gonna take. Maybe this will take 30 minutes. Maybe this will take 2 hours. I don't know. All I know is that I guarantee that more than 0 people find this interesting. And I, personally, this might be like my favorite part of streaming nowadays. This and thumbnails. So, I'm gonna show you how my obsession with optimizing and being productive it led to this. So, this is what my dashboard looks like. The Stream Deck, if you don't know, has folders, right? And for the sake hyperfixation, yeah, absolutely. You don't typically enjoy the gaming part. That's not true. I've been enjoying gaming. Xenoverse 2 was fun once I put on follower only mode. Little Nightmares 2 ruined my life because all I could think about is Little Nightmares. I had an absolute blast playing Katana Zero again for 1 million in gamer coins, and unlike you, I didn't buy them on eBay. So, okay, for the sake of the rest of the stream, I'm going to explain the terminology, okay? Enjoy hating the games? It's a combination of that, and I really like riling you guys up. There's a lot of times where, like, I actually am having a good time, but I know if I shit on it, it's gonna piss you off, and that makes me really happy. Toxic. You understand? You understand? So, okay. This is folders, right? So, like, this is a folder, right? For the sake of the terminology tonight, okay, in OBS right now, this, what you're seeing right now, is a scene. This is my main scene. And every aspect of it is a source. So the webcam is a source. The chat display is a source. The display capture is a source. The Spotify is a source. Okay? Cool? And then we also have filters. We have all kinds of shit. Plugins. Plugins, I think, right? Chris, don't make me leak the tapes, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. As you can see, I have very many plugins. Both in OBS and in Oh! Dan returns with a spicy 4-year resub. With the Hadakaze resub. Thank you so much, dude. How you doing? What's up, dude? That is quite possibly my favorite alert. Besides the new 7-year alert that I have made that no one has triggered yet. Eternal, I think, is going to pop it next month. If ever she comes back from Redacted, who knows? She's living her best life. She's a Cali girl now. You know, she's changed. Things have changed. You know? So, you know what, Dan? How about this? Dan, I haven't seen you in a hot minute. And I'm not calling you out. What I'm doing is the opposite. I'm going to reward you for showing up. And I'm going to leak the 7-year alert. Okay? Dan, I hope all is well, man. I hope all is well with you, the fam, and so on and so forth. Thank you for stopping by and resubscribing. Chat, if you don't want to be spoiled, I guess, like, cover your eyes, hide your kids, hide your wife. Alert box, settings, subscriber alert, variation settings. All right, here it comes. Complete banger. All right, so the worst is that took like 5 hours to make because I was doing face tracking. It wasn't working. there were a couple of spots where I don't know what the fuck was going. Like I could not, because I don't edit enough to know like how to solve the problem I had. I know, Hicks. I know. At that point, I was so burnt out I couldn't remember it. I spent like a whole. That's like 5 seconds, and I spent all day on that shit. I was fried. So, okay, back to the stream deck. Listen. All right, we're back on the dashboard. I showed you how the webcam works. That's all I've shown you so far. So, the thing about the stream deck, if you don't know, one of the main reasons why there's two reasons this thing is fucking amazing. One, you probably, if you know anything about the stream deck, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. I'm gonna tell you. Number one, or excluding folders, because folders obviously rip. One, multi-actions. You can have one button do multiple things. In fact, I can show you right now my most complex multi-action. 25 actions off of one button press. Disgusting, right? But the main reason this thing is so crazy is that it can turn things on and off on a scene that's not active. So again, for example, right now we're on my main scene, okay? I'm going to give you an example. We're going to go to be right back, okay? Ever try to hold liquid in your tent? No. Okay? So, I'm going to press webcam zoomed, and now when I come back, we're on the zoomed webcam. If I didn't have a stream deck, I can't do that. So if I was doing a bit where I'm like looking at Chris like this for asking me questions about my fucking den, like an insensitive son of a gun, I would not be able to do that without a stream deck unless I ran OBS in studio mode, which is so annoying because you have two instances. One is like what I see, one is what you see, right? Much easier like this. And that's also one of the reasons that the multi-actions are so good. Also, one more thing before I show you the deep stuff. You can have multiple devices, which is why I have my tablet. So, for those who know, my tablet stays on my bed, and it controls my standing scenes. So we'll get into that later. But Stream Deck Mobile has 15 buttons, which is the standard Stream Deck, and then my physical Stream Deck is the XL, which has 32 buttons. Okay? So, why do you have so many folders? Because the way that OBS works and the Stream Deck work is everything is like separate, right? So this is the main scene, right? So if I go to 4 wide, 3 wide, this is the 4-3 wide scene, right? So obviously everything looks different, but this, as far as OBS and Stream Deck is concerned, these are two completely separate entities. Okay, so if I want to turn the camera on and off, right? Like if I go here, webcam group, I have to. Wait a minute. I'm just realizing that because I recently changed this, because of okay, so okay, this is fucked. So, I recently changed this because I added a plugin called the region of interest, which is if you've been here for it, basically. This is fucked. Write that down. Yeah, basically what happens. Actually, I could show you. We have the technology. We're gonna go back to the main scene, right? Okay, so a perfect example. I played Vampire Survivors recently, right? So you guys know that when the screen gets busy, the bitrate shits the bed. Correct? So I have a region of interest editor. And as you can see, there's like a little blue area, and that's because that's all about the intensity. So I have it set for the webcam border and the webcam group. So if I set it to 100%, home, and so on. So 10% seemed like the sweet spot where when everything goes to shit, the webcam looks a little bit clearer and the game loses a bit of quality. If I jumped up to 20% when I tested with Mario Kart, you could literally see the outline of the box because it was that obvious, and so I was like, okay, well that's no good. You don't want to like have a box of like this is the best part, right? And because it's like a group, I have to have it here, same as like the webcam bordered. It's, you know, the size of the border. My notes are so peepoed. Hell yeah, hell yeah. So anyways, so now that I realize it, because and also I've overhauled my OBS and my Stream Deck fucking constantly. So every now and then I realize something like that where I'm like, oh, I forgot this, and it makes sense because I change so much all the time. Anyways, so right now we're in main. So technically, if I go into my main and I do that and I turn off my webcam, it only turns it off here, right? So when I do that in my 4x3 scene that you just saw, it doesn't turn the webcam off because we have our scene and our source, okay? So that's why I have folders, because most of them, like, and you'll see it, like I have the buttons set identically because I want the muscle memory. I don't want to have to guess everywhere, right? I want to know that the sounds button is here no matter what I'm doing. So whether I'm in main, reactions, 4-3 wide, 4-3 narrow, card opening, drawing, charity, whatever, the sounds button is always here. Everything is always the same, but the webcam is going to be in the charity group. And literally, I've only used the card opening scene twice, the drawing scene once, and the charity scene once. But it took a long fucking time to set them up, so they're already there. So if ever I need them, they're already there. So I always keep them. So if tomorrow I decide that I want to do something with the charity scene, this literally, we're 2024 now. I used this in 2020 when we did the Retrobit Champs first scavenger hunt. This is what I used, and I haven't changed it since. But anytime there's like changes with microphones or whatever, I always keep it up to date, because if tomorrow I need it, I have it, and we're good to go. Right? Lightspeed was cracking. So same thing with card opening, drawing, whatever. Okay, so before we like go deeper into the main folders, this is what else we have. This was one of those things where, you know how sometimes you're so tunnel visioned on like, this is how I've always done it, so this is the only way to do it. I had a button for speakers and a button for headset. But why have two buttons when you could have one? So one of the things that I really, really love about the Stream Deck is not only can you have like a button and then a multi-action and a folder, where you could have a multi-action or you could have a multi-action switch. So a multi-action is you set the list of things that it does. And let's say there's 5 actions. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. Dan, you too, man. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the resub. Appreciate you, buddy. Good seeing your name pop up. Hope all is well. A multi-action switch is when I press the button once, it does a thing. When I press it a second time, it does something else. Right? In this case, this button is very, very simple. It's speakers or headset. Right? So I know that seems like super basic because you could just like click down on your taskbar and set it, but when I'm done like a stream, because I pretty much only use my headset when I'm streaming, or if I'm editing, it's like early in the morning, I don't want to like be annoying, right? But 99.9% of the time I only use my headset when I'm streaming. So I turn my headset on, I press the button, I'm good. And when I'm done streaming, it's the opposite. I press this button and I'm back to speakers, and that's it. This is literally just because I'm so obsessed with being... There are real cards now, she's gonna pull the house. Blip, blip. The change wallpaper thing is literally just because I'm fucked in the head, and when I'm streaming I don't want to waste time. And so this is like when I was... Like right now, obviously I'm just rocking my logo. But every now and then I'm like, I want this, my desktop background to be the thumbnail of the current game. So if I change games, I want to be able to just press this button and it literally brings up this, and I could whoops. Boom. I could do that, right? So that's the only reason that's there. Then I have a Spotify playlist or Spotify folder, sorry, where with the Spotify plugin I have playlists of all like stream appropriate shit. Okay. And 90% of the time I have them on shuffle, and so it's just like, okay, whatever. Then I have a starting soon video folder. So, okay, I'm gonna actually go backwards a bit. So, my first step when I turn on OBS, the Stream Deck, whatever, I do the webcams button. So everything is good. Then I go into miscellaneous, right? And so I have, you know, editing buttons here, copy, paste, select all, undo, reduce, split, whatever. Then I have a button to open DaVinci Resolve. This color picker is actually kind of cool. I can show you right now. If I hover over this purple and I press the button, it gives me the hex code. So if I'm making thumbnails or whatever, awesome. This is a speed test. So if ever I want to be sure, I can check if my internet is cool without going to speedtest.net or whatever it is. I can just press the button. Cool. Now connected is actually my PC controller. When I have an Xbox controller that's just for PC games, and actually I can show you right now. I connect it. Right. Oops. Medium. I don't know why it's on medium considering I haven't used it, but it shows me the battery level of the PC controller. Realistically, I've never used this once, but it's there if I need to. Also, I just realized, like, I should, before, by showing my wallpaper thing, that I showed my other email. I guess realistically, who cares? I have 2 emails, and you guys see one like on my Twitter, on my Twitch, on my whatever, so who gives a shit, right? Anyways, okay, so here I put my shiny hunt multi-action here because I literally never shiny hunt anymore. But when before I go live, I do test record, where it just starts recording. I do like testing the mic, 1, 2, 3, clap. Switch to voice mod, and it changes to my voice mod mic. And then headset, same thing, 1, 2, 3, clap. I press it one more time, and we go back to my main mic. And that's when I do like 1, 2, 3 on my capture card. And then if I press test record again, it ends the recording and it opens up my videos folder so I can watch the test recording and make sure that everything's good. Like each mic sounds like it should, everything is synced, cool. And then obviously, you know, emote mode, this and that, whatever. These are for thumbnails. OBS screenshot, 5-second timer, 10-second timer. The 10-second timer is really for standing stuff. The 5-second timer is if I'm just like going like, oh, but I don't want to like manually press a button because I want the shape of my body to be natural. So I'll be like, and have the 5-second timer, but then the 10 seconds lets me like stand and go there and whatever, right? So once that's all done, I'm good. We go to starting soon video, and this looks like it's probably just like going to my main folder, but no, it's a whole, every single one of these is the same multi-action, but going to a different scene. So in this case, because I'll start the timer, right? Which is a multi-action. So it plays the music, starts the timer. There's a 3-second delay and there's a timer fade in. Actually, now that I think of it, this could probably go. I'll have to check that after the stream. I have a fade in, which I'm going to show you guys in a bit. OBS filters. Then there's a timer. For some reason, this 6-minute timer, like it takes a couple seconds to kick in. So I have it set to 6 minutes and 2 seconds. And then it pops up and it shows you 6 minutes and all that, right? Then after that, I'm realizing now, like, okay, because this multi-action is one of my most recent. I did so much testing with it and fine-tuned it. I'm realizing now that this, again, doesn't need to be here. Why would you have 2 delays back to back? I think it's because I had like turn off the music and then turn on the fade out, whatever. Anyways, the point being, I switch to my starting soon scene. I do the timer, it plays music, and then once the timer reaches 0, I switch to whatever scene I need. So if I'm just going to my main scene, which is this, I just press main. But if I'm doing the full screen intro like I did tonight, I go here, right? And then I have some like my most used intro music compared to the whole folder of it, right? And then now we've gone live, okay? So that's that. These are obviously Discord. I know what you're thinking, like, okay, it's just joining a Discord, but Eternals, it's literally just I join it and undeafen, and then if I press the button again, I leave it and I deafen. Cool. But let's say the stream Discord, I have an overlay, right? So if I press it now, and also I set it so usually you can see all my buttons are purple or whatever. For voice things, I have it set so that you can see the button just went red, so I know I'm active. So if I press this and I undeafen myself, you can see right here I'm in the Discord overlay, right? And that's because in here it turned on the overlay in my main scene, my 4-3 scene, other 4-3 scene, be right back, just chatting, log, everything. Threw me in the stream, and I put myself as deafen just in case I wasn't deafen already, because I like maybe I'm running an intro, maybe I'm whatever, right? So I don't want to be in voice just yet until I manually decide I'm in voice. So on my PC panel, my audio controller, this knob, if I click it, it toggles deafen and undeafen on Discord. So right now I press it and you can see that you don't see me popping up here because I'm deafened in Discord. And now if I leave here, I press the button, you can see it went purple because it just kicked me out, right? So I have Voices, which is my general thing, my stream Discord, and then collab Discord, which I update accordingly. So like the latest thing I did with like Mildly and stuff, I think we used her Discord. So I always just change whatever, or sorry, the last one was the scavenger hunt. So I do that. And Eternal, same thing, just join whatever. Then I have Discord volumes. This one is super cool because right now it looks like nothing, but this is a dynamic folder. So whoever is in a Discord call with me, it's going to show them, it's going to show their icon here with what they're, so let's say we have Nick in chat right now. If Nick is in a chat with me, it's going to show his profile picture and it'll show him at like 100%. And then this is up and this is down, right? So if I find he's too loud compared to me, I just press this button and it lowers him. And this is mostly useful if I'm playing a PC game, right? Like if I'm playing on console already, let's say we're playing like Halo, and like I don't want to like click out of shit because like I'm in the middle of a multiplayer game, I can't pause. That's one thing, but like a PC game, I literally have to alt tab out, open Discord, whatever. If I go here, I can literally just up, down, or if I click on his name, it just mutes him. And then same thing here, this changes my mic. So usually like all my multi-actions are set so if I stand, it automatically changes my mic to the headset. But if I'm like, let's say hanging out in Eternals Discord at like Saturday at midnight and I'm not streaming, I decide I want to stand, I just press headset and cool. And then again, mute is on, deafen is on, but when they're not, they turn purple. And I have this just set so that I know like what's up, you know? Just to be sure, just to be safe. The webcams was the thing where I showed you at the beginning, where it changes like all the settings, and then webcam setting is literally just webcam setting and webcam border setting is just what I do when I to my setting breaks. But the ones that are here are literally just so that when I open OBS, I make sure everything's good. So if I want to make sure I do this, okay, the setting camera is working. Never thought it was this intense. It's so fucking sick. I mean, I personally think this is fucking cool. It is so optimal, yes. Doesn't pull focus from the PC game when you hit a button. No, that's why it's awesome. because it doesn't open Discord itself. And even like this, like what you see right here, this like window is not open when I'm using the Stream Deck. Literally, I close it like this, and I just physically see it on the physical unit. So, I wonder if I could give you an example real quick, actually. I'm gonna try something. And hopefully I don't fuck anything up. But in theory, I should be able to give you an example real quick. That's why I was hoping my thing that I'm going to show you guys where like it pulls people from one Discord chat to another. I was hoping that they could make it like native. Okay, let's see. If I do that, okay. Okay. So look, this is what I see on my phone right now, okay? But this is my Stream Deck on my desk. Why is it so laggy, bro? So if I do that last one, Discord volumes, like I just see it on the actual piece itself. It doesn't open anything on my PC because it's on the actual Stream Deck. You know what I mean? So if I reopen the program though, does that, then I have the clock, just because literally this is more like on the weekend when it's like the morning. Like it's just literally the font is bigger than like on my taskbar. So if I'm just like, what time is it? It's just, you know. Emus is for all of my totally legal consoles. If I press this, it will not open the Dolphin emulator. It will plug in my GameCube. Right? So, but that's just because like, you know, different programs installed in different places or whatever. So it's much easier just like open here, press this, and wouldn't you know it, we have ourselves ready to go. Right? And there's that. So Discord mover, Discord move users. This took me a long fucking time to fine tune. I put a video on my YouTube channel because I wanted to make it like Twitter clip, but it was too long, whatever. The short version is I found a Discord bot called Movier. Unfortunately, there is an official Discord plugin, but you can't move people from one channel to another. So for me, I have like my general voice chat that anybody in my Discord server can join, but then I have the stream voice chat, which only I can bring you into. So this does, with using the Movier bot, it does /f move, which I assume means full move. And now you'll notice here, press enter after message, and I have just enter. For some reason, I assume that it's just entering it too fast for Discord to register. If I put that here, it's not gonna work. I have to put a separate command of just enter, and then it works. Don't know why, but that's just how it is. So our main voice chat is due to voices, and then the other one is stream. I noticed that if I had just the letter D and S, sometimes it would just fuck up. But if I do DO and ST, it doesn't. So basically, if somebody joins due to voices, I would manually drag them into stream, right? And that's fine if it's like one person. But let's say theoretically 8 people want to join tonight. It means the only way to like do it normally is after 1, 2, 3, like drag everybody one by one. Whereas this multi-action, literally the more people are in due to voices, the more practical it becomes, because I just press this one time and everybody that's in due to voices is going to get dragged into stream. I know, Nick, I know. Then this one is fucking crazy. Okay, I have a program called control my monitor. Okay, I don't remember how, like, I literally had to find like what value, like, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of info here, right? I had to learn what did what with trial and error, but basically input select will change between HDMI and analog. Okay. Then I have plugins for Advanced Launcher and Control My Monitor. This is one of those things where I can't really explain. Theoretically, I shouldn't need both. Either one should work, but they don't work on their own. But if I have them together, they always work. It makes no fucking sense. But together, they always work, so it is what it is. As Advanced Launcher, I have it set. So basically, bring to front if already running. Also, you can see that here, like you see the little underline. I never fully close this, even though it's set to run in the system tray. I noticed that for the only way for this to work properly, I have to open it and then I minimize it. And then I have this multi-action set up. And then it works perfectly. But basically, what does this mean? Well, it brings it to the front. Control My Monitor, again, it just makes it so that it's the active focus window. Again, the two of them should not need to both be active, but it is what it is. You saw that there's all these things, right? Well, you can see the input select starts with 6. So I have a hotkey of 6 so that it selects that specific value. And then F2 and F3 changes those values. So I don't remember what the values are. I think they go up and down -5. And again, like this is just like trial and error. I found out that like, you know, HDMI is like channel 2 and analog is like channel 7 type shit, right? And that's all it is. And then it minimizes. So what does that mean? Like in a human way, I can actually show you. I have it bookmarked. I'm going to open my bookmarks off stream because this is the only bookmark that a normal person should have. The others are all just unclothed women. Okay, so if I show you this, basically, you know how like underneath the monitor you have that like weird like little nipple button, and it's like you go down and it's like menu, and then you go like left, and then it's like you change input and it's like HDMI or analog. So this whole multi-action is to avoid that, right? So if you can see here, I press the button and it just instantly changed. And it, not only is this not a pain in the ass, but it's literally faster than if I physically fucked around with the button. It's insane. So whenever I, like, let's say I'm playing a console game, right? And I'll pull up a video or a clip or something. I'll do this to change between like the console and the PC, and then I'll change either the console input, like right now you didn't see it, but right now I see the Xbox, and then I press PC input, and now I see what you see. So this is what I use when I do that type of shit. And if I want to switch, again, if right now I want to play Xbox, I switch to the console input. If I want to play a PC game, I do PC input. But it's literally less of a pain in the ass, and it's literally faster than if I physically press the button. Because obviously it's all doing it internally. It's doing it in a fraction of a second instead of me fucking around trying to fiddle, okay, menu, input, blah, 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 right? So, before we dive deeper into the things, also here in my miscellaneous folder, you can see there's black background and white background. That's literally just a test green screen. If ever I do any changes, if there's anything I want to test, that's just this, just to see, depending on like lighting and coloring, fuck with anything. Okay, so is this interesting to anybody, by the way? Like, I'm having a great time talking about it, but is anybody like into this shit? Because this, like I said, for me, kind of like in a game, it's cool when you can like finally figure out that puzzle and beat the level. This to me is like the ultimate, like, I have an idea, and how do I make it like actually happen in real life, right? Didn't think it went this in depth. Well, you have to keep in mind that I'm fucked in the head. Most people, what they use a Stream Deck for is you have a mute and unmute mic, and you have a turn camera on and off. You could do a course on this professorship. I mean, I've thought about it, but honestly, after tonight's video, I've like covered everything. And compared to like people like Harris Heller and Nutty and whatever who specialize in this shit, you know. So it'd be cool, but like first it's because of the dent. So now I'm going to show you guys a bit more like in-depth stuff, or just like how I optimize stuff. Okay, so again, we have folders. Okay, so for the rest of the video, probably we're just going to handle my main folder, but this is what I usually have open when I'm streaming. Okay, so I have scenes, which is self-explanatory. If I want to switch to any scene, cool. Again, though, it's not that simple, because let's say the arcade is a standing scene. This is all that's in the arcade. This is a more complicated one. Let's do a more standard standing scene. Let's say the lounge. This is what the normal multi-action looks like, because again, I don't want to use this microphone. I want to use my headset, and the way I set it up is that from any scene that I'm on, I can switch to a scene without any problems, because I've had it before in the past, before I did this, where I realized, okay, there's a problem here, because I have to be like on my main scene with this specific mic to change to this mic, whatever. So I eventually changed it where no matter where I am, I could go wherever I want to be. So if I want to switch to the lounge, it mutes the Yeti, which is this guy, right? It mutes the voice mod. Chances are voice mod's not on, but just in case, it mutes it. Unmutes the headset. It deafens in Discord, because in this particular case, I can't ever imagine a case where I would want to switch to this scene and for whoever I'm in the party chat with to hear what I'm saying. So it deafens me. Then it switches to the scene, and then there's a 3-second delay for the transition, and then every standing scene I have, because again, this is one of those things where like sometimes I'm playing, let's say, Dance with the Dead, right? During a stream intro, or Be Right Back, like P-Break or whatever. Dance with the Dead is safe on Twitch, but it gets demonetized on YouTube. It doesn't really, like, the bit doesn't hit as hard if I have to, before the bit, look for safe music to play and then do the bit, right? So what I did is all my standing scenes have their own specific music. And then I have this where if no music is playing, nothing's gonna happen. But like right now, we have music. So if I press lounge, once the transition is done, you see we switched to our headset mic, and now we're in the lounge. And the lounge music is playing. And then I control it on the tablet Stream Deck, which is on the bed. The reason for this is because, you know, if I had the space, I would do like Doc does, and I would have a second wall for the standing green screen. But right now it's the same green screen that you see when I'm sitting. So what I do, and I'll show you in OBS, but I have a layer. So I noticed at one point, if I turn this camera on and off, there's like a ghost image. When you turn the camera on, there's a ghost image of the last thing I saw before it turned off, which ruins the immersion because you see me like standing there or sitting there or whatever. So my workaround was that instead of just having the background and then the camera that you turn on and off, I have the background, the camera, and then a duplicate of the background. So we have a right now, instead of turning the camera on and off, I'm turning off the duplicate that's blocking the camera. Alright? So, and then once again, like the other thing, you can see that the button is red, so that when I'm out of frame, and from here, because of the chair and stuff, I can't really see OBS. So I see the red button, I'm like, okay, now I'm good to walk into frame. I do my shtick, I walk out of frame, I press the button again, and it's purple, and I know that now I'm safe to walk to my chair and you guys can't see me. Because again, if the bit won't be funny if you see me walking back and forth, right? So every time I do a standing scene, I have a duplicate covering me, and I walk from the chair to here, out of frame, right? And then once I'm out of frame, I know I'm good. That's when I turn off the layer. I walk in, I do my shtick. Let me turn on some music because we've been here for a while. I do my shtick. I walk back out of frame. I turn the layer back on. And now, you don't see me, but I'm standing right in the middle. And then I switch back to my main scene, which switches the scenes and switches back to my Yeti mic. So that's how I do the standing scenes as a rule. Then there's some, like the arcade is pretty much the same, but sometimes I have like a little TV come down with a clip from a past stream. And so the multi-action is more complicated. And then, like I said, the most complicated one is 25 actions. It's the elevator. And that is because, if ever you've noticed, I'll show you right now. When I switch to the elevator, first of all, there's an 8-second timer for me to get into place and then walk in. Well, you'll notice that like I just walked in front of the elevator, but now the timer has gone, and so I'm inside of the elevator. So there was a timer that put this whole layer in front, and now there's a timer that set those doors off, and the ding, and the scene switch, and now I'm in the scene again, where once again I manually turned off the clone, but now in the background it was resetting the doors and shit. Again, this is something you can't do without a stream deck, because I would have to theoretically be on the scene to reset those doors and whatnot. But with a stream deck, you can interact with shit that's on a different scene than the one that you're on. So like this is the lounge scene, the stream deck reset the doors on the elevator scene. And I have that for a few things, mostly video stuff, like my intro scene, let's say, which rotates depending on the current game. Nick, you know what's funny is you say that. Once I got into this shit, I've learned to have an appreciation for things like news and sports broadcasts, because like the production is like super cool to me now. Like all the overlays, and he makes this play, so you do this, and look how he did this and whatever. And of course I have a fucking whiteboard because I'm me, right? But to me that shit is so cool that like as much as the news is not interesting to me, the production side of it, I'm like, fuck man, maybe that's what I should do, you know? So I'm trying to think of like where do we go? Okay, so scenes are straightforward. I always have my main scenes. Again, when I say main scenes, I mean like scenes that have more shit than just like a bit. Like a scene that I can do a stream with. Like I won't do a stream out of the elevator scene, but I can do a stream out of my reactions, or like a video out of my reactions, or a drawing stream, or whatever, right? So this little chunk is cool, and you'll see that sometimes there's duplicates. Worst case scenario, I could always trim the fat if I need to, but the way I have it is like this is like the mains, and then this is the chatting scenes. So we have Be Right Back, Just Chatting, Lobby, which is like, let's say I'm playing Halo or Call of Duty or whatever, the lobby is like while we're in the game lobby, right? Some games like Mario Kart are so fast that it doesn't warrant, or Overwatch 2, it doesn't warrant a thing. With like Halo, I'll switch to the lobby just so like you see the chat on screen, and it just makes it more like interactive while we're waiting, right? And then the webcam board at full screen, obviously self-explanatory. I mostly use it now for intros, but that's actually what I use That's actually what I use for this, and I'll get to that in a second as well. And then I have intro, intermission, raid, offline. This is like, I put them in what I would guess would be like a chronological order. Again, realistically, ever since I made the starting soon video folder, I don't think I've ever cut to the intro scene from here, but realistically just having it, like right now, I don't have enough scenes that I need to trim any more fat, because, you know, sometimes I'll use something one time and I'll toss it, and so on and so forth. So anyways, those are like the progressive ones, let's say, and then these are all like standing bit, or not even necessarily standing, because like coffee shop and stage are sitting, but you know what I mean, they're like, these are all bit scenes. But like, I don't remember the last time I used DJ booth, so if I have an idea tonight, that would be the first one that gets the axe, right? And I keep everything in like, I have like my Twitch graphics folder, so I could get rid of DJ booth now, but I could rebuild it tomorrow. I also have, because I'm me, OBS settings and Stream Deck. I have screenshots of everything. Also, because like this, you guys will keep in mind, I've been streaming longer than I've had this PC. I got this PC 4 years ago, but I've been streaming 10 years, right? So I had to rebuild everything. So, but like, so if I needed to, I know this clam thing, I know exactly how big it is. I know exactly what position on the screen it is. I know everything. I could rebuild everything tomorrow if I need to. The shiny counter, like everything, right? I have screenshots of fucking everything. And then I have USB backups on 3 different USB sticks, just because I'm paranoid. Okay? So, that's scenes. If you want to get into like basic shit, right? We have then like record. The YouTube intro is a multi-action, right? That too, over the years, I've simplified. That used to be a whole convoluted fucking thing. It was a video file that was on every scene or whatever. I ended up just making the YouTube intro its own fucking scene. So it's just, I switch to the scene, there's a 6-second delay, and then it comes back. So right now this is on the main scene. So that's why, like I was saying before, each of these have like their own folder, because if I'm on 4.3 wide, well then it's going to be YouTube intro, 6 seconds delayed, it's going to come back to 4.3 wide, right? So that, a couple of things, let's say pause recording. I have it set so that when the recording is actually paused, this button turns red. And it's, usually I'm good about it, but it's a lot harder to accidentally forget to unpause. Like, let's say I go piss, I come back in, 31 of these buttons are purple and 1 is red. It's going to be kind of hard to miss that I need to unpause the recording, you know? And also sometimes, like, you don't want to, like I tend to be very delicate with everything because I don't want to break shit. Sometimes you're like, fuck, did I press it hard enough or whatever? Obviously, if you see the color change, I'm good, right? And there's only a couple of things where I have like a green and red, just whatever, you know? Same as like here, my starting soon. Like here, if I'm recording, it doesn't change color because I check OBS constantly, make sure everything is good. But when I'm doing my intro, just to make sure that it actually like pressed properly, it goes red. Does that make sense? Then this screenshot, this is actually a multi-action. What it does is it does an OBS screenshot, but it also does whatever active app screenshot. So like right now I'm focused on Stream Deck, so it would screenshot this. This one is more set for like if I'm doing a PC game. Because like if I'm playing Xbox, I could do like the capture button on my controller, takes a screenshot, and you don't see like the camera, the Spotify overlay, the chat, whatever, right? It's just the game. So this is like, let's say I'm playing a PC game, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's really a perfect. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Perfect example, right? I was playing Yakuza 6. That back piece is fucking sick. This is such a sick shot. I want a screenshot without my face, without all the whatever. Right? So, the OBS screenshot would have my camera right now. If somebody says something in chat, it would have my camera, the Spotify overlay, the chat, whatever. Whereas this would just screenshot the game. So, whatever. Zoom, this is actually an app that I have called, I think it's called, yeah, it's just called Zoom It. So it's basically, it's just a, as you can see, it's just a hotkey. Control 1. But you can see that it zooms. So it only works for PC stuff, but I'm sure you've noticed before. Like, let's say last night we were watching speedruns on YouTube, and I zoomed into the channel names so you got a better view. So it's like, okay, sub to Footy for more Tomb Raider speedruns. If I'm playing Xbox, this is whatever, but if I'm playing a PC game, I can zoom in on the PC game. So that's awesome. Webcam presets, this to me is fucking awesome. This is like the thing that took the longest to figure out and saves the most time. So I have a couple of things where it's like just the filters. Bright makes it bright, you know, so it's like I just do the bit where, like, if this whole screen is white, I can go like this or whatever. Glow is that. Disappear pop is this thing, and then I have the bordered version if I have the border camera. Tooth cling, self-explanatory. Right. I have weeb, and then mind, and then cry. These are literally just pictures, besides the clown, which obviously had a sound effect. These are just like toggling pictures. And then I just title it cry and cry bordered, because let's say if I'm doing this, then if I do clown bordered or cry bordered, you know what I mean, right? So these presets to me are fucking awesome, and I'm going to show you how it's done. That is actually in OBS. Okay. If I go onto like my main scene and I right click and I go to filters, you can see there are 7 bajillion of them, right? This is like disgusting. This is from the Move plugin. The main reason I even set up the Move plugin was actually for the instant replay. I'm going to show you that actually real quick before we continue. So let's say if I do a replay right now, again, you also have 3 different buttons for the replay. Reason being, let's say I'm playing Halo. Right now I do a sick play, but the score is like 20 to 18 in a 50-point game. So I don't want to load the replay right now. So I save it, right? And then at the end of the game, I want to show that specific replay, so I load it. And then play is if I want to do everything. Like, something just happened and I want to put it back up right now. Instant replay. So each one is different. So this is just the hotkey to save it. Load replay. You can see that it does all this shit. And then play replay is the whole shebang. So it saves a replay. There's a 2-second delay. It switches scenes. Does what I'll show you guys in a second. Actually, now that I think of it, I can get rid of that. This was because one plug. Okay, so there used to be the biggest OBS thing was called Stream Effects, and then they made it end up being paid, and so a lot of us, like, I was only using like 2 or 3 things from Stream Effects. So I was like, I'm not gonna pay every month for this shit. But because of that, now that I think of it, some of the stuff has broken in the meantime. Right? So, anyways, we're gonna ignore that for now, because I have, like, instead of this, I have a source clone. Anyways, okay. So anyways, that's the whole thing. 2-second delay, it changes the thing. It blurs the background. It plays the 20-second replay, and then it comes back, and it turns off the blur. Okay, so if I press it right now, there's a 2-second delay. And so you saw how, like, it slid in? That's the move transition. You see how the background right now is all blurry? but it's the current background. But it's like if I move my mouse, you could see it in the background, right? So it's just blurry so that what's in the replay just pops. So because of that, I also set up where this display capture is not just a toggle, but it's actually a multi-action, because it toggles it here and in the instant replay. Because what I want, because again I'm a perfectionist, I'm gonna toggle the display capture. So right now the display capture is off and you see the capture card, which is the Xbox right now. Right? So I'm gonna wait a bit because it's a 20-second replay. I think that's good. But now, if I play a replay, you'll notice that the background is the capture card and it's blurred, and you can see that it's in real time because I just turned on my controller. Right? But now because we blurred the background, it makes all of the replay stuff pop. But the move transition originally, why I got it was to bring that instant replay in and then bring it out. But then I got fancier with it. So if I turn on this display capture, actually wait a minute, we're gonna turn this guy back on. So if I go to my filters, all of these are move transitions for actual sources. So you can see chat, Discord, or whatever. So like let's say webcam bordered left top would obviously put at the left top of the screen. You can see it says the source is the webcam bordered. This I leave it, it says custom, but I leave it at default, which is 300 milliseconds. You could put it 0, you could put it 2. I've actually, in the intro videos, when you see the bullet train moving, this is what I used. I said I want it to go from here to here, and I want it to take this amount of time, and it just did it. And then it gives me the position and whatever. And so what that does is, if I go here, right now, let's say I'm on webcam right? So it turns off the webcam bordered and it turns on the webcam group, right? And that's for everything. These guys, it does the same shit, whereas this, it does the opposite. If it's a webcam bordered thing, it turns off the webcam group, it turns on a webcam bordered. So let's say I want the webcam on the left, and to show you just how well it works, I'm going to turn that off, and I have the bordered webcam. So now I want the webcam normal on the left. So if I go to my presets and I press webcam left, it turned off the bordered webcam, it turned on the normal webcam, and it moved it to the left or the middle. And then you can see that I put Spotify because I just like things being balanced. So if my camera's here, I want Spotify on the opposite end, and so on and so forth as a rule. So webcam border turns off, webcam group turns on, the webcam right filter goes on, which moves this right here, and then there's 2 Spotifys because the filter, the overlay we're using now, it's super slick. It's my favorite to use, but it tends to break every now and then. It's not often, but more than 0 times. So because I'm me, if I go to my overlays, I have 2 versions. I kept the old Spotify that I had before this clean one. So this one, I have it, the old one was Snip, this one is Amuse. So if I press the Amuse button, you saw how it turned off. And if I press Snip, we have the old overlay. And same as if I do right bottom, right top, left bottom, but all these buttons are moving both of the overlays. So now if I decide, okay, the new overlay is working again, I turn off this old one, but this guy is down here now because it followed the other one. So like everything, bro, like the amount of time I spent on this shit is fucking insane. But again, this is one of those things because like you see how the main reason, you see how the Spotify thing, it's not touching the edges. It's 10 pixels away from the top and from the left. And then when I do Spotify right top, same thing. It's 10 pixels and 10 pixels. If I want to be that precise live, I have to drag it to the corner and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fuck it. In this case, it took a little bit to set up, but now all I gotta do is press the button and I'm done. Right? That's why I spend all the same with Discord. Let's say I just hopped in my stream Discord, right? So if I go to overlays and I think, oh, you know what? It would actually look better here, or it would look better here, or it would look better here, or here, or here, or here. And then from there, I could obviously move it if I want to. But as a rule, it's probably faster to just do this, right? It's not always set in stone, but chances are it's going to be fine. And then while I'm in the overlays, so these are all the chat placements. So you can see if I put like test, right? That's the bottom left. So if I do like left middle, left top, I even have it set for the middle of the screen, then the right side, whatever. Cool. And then the chat overlay is also if I just want to turn off the chat. Maybe there's too much on screen. I just don't want chat on screen. So I could turn it on and off. Clear whiteboard is, so I have this whiteboard plugin. What the fuck did I just do? Did I fuck something up? Okay, so what I was trying to do is this, right? And it's mostly used because I'm like, oh, look at this. Isn't that crazy? I have it set so that it focuses OBS. Then it does my full screen preview hotkey. And then when I press the button again, it escapes to get out of the full screen preview. It clears the whiteboard and then it focuses Opera because Opera is my browser, so it focuses me back on chat. And now I'm just, did I break something? I think we're good. Okay, but now if I go to overlays, I have clear whiteboard just in case, because the problem with that is that if I manually set a full screen preview, just to maybe I'm just testing the size or alignment of something. If I accidentally click somewhere on the screen, it's going to do the whiteboard. So I'll just do this to clear it, right? Then I have refresh Spotify and refresh all browser sources. The thing that's different about these is I could show you better, but if I go to like be right back, okay? If I refresh Spotify, you can see that only the music overlay refreshed, right? It took a little bit of time, but only that did. If I do refresh all browser sources, it also clears the on-screen chat. So it's instant, but it wipes everything. If you're doing a charity stream, it refreshes the overlay. Anything that's like a browser source. So anything like internet or whatever gets wiped. So I remember I spent literally a whole night. I took a night off of stream to learn StreamerBot, just to learn how to do that, because it wasn't a simple thing of like, oh, turn the camera on and off. It was like I had to learn how to insert OBS raw code, and honestly, I don't even remember how to do it. But I literally just had to like watch StreamerBot guides and how to do OBS raw code and stuff like that, because the reason being is like, let's say I take let's say stream elements, you'd have to go into properties and you'd have to go down here to refresh cache of current page in order to refresh something, but there's no way to do that like with a hotkey or with the Stream Deck or whatever. But StreamerBot with this code lets you actually do that. So that's why I have a refresh Spotify thing, because that's like manual code, and then I literally got the StreamerBot Stream Deck plugin just for this one thing. Whereas the refresh all browser sources is just one hotkey, all of them get flushed, and that's it. And then while I had this overlay thing open, I put a heart monitor, toggle, RNG, and spoilers. So the RNG is this. The multi-action, right? Just slides in the image, plays the sound. It's all timed. It's cool. Spoilers just on off. And then I actually just added this, the Amazon blur. You actually don't see it right now. Hi, what's cracking, homie? If I put this, let's say, if I turn that off real quick, this was literally just because a couple of times I was doing like a Google image search and I didn't realize that something was an Amazon link, and so I clicked the picture to enlarge it, opens Amazon, it shows like half my postal code. So I've added this blur so that if I literally go right now on Amazon, you can't see anything. And if I scroll, you can't see anything. Cool. So I'm basically just going to put that on anytime I image search. Hi, how you doing, by the way? Before we continue, I'm just going to run to the bathroom. So I will use my Stream Deck to pause recording and then hit be right back, and then the PC panel to mute the mic. So BRB. Alright, we're back. Now that I unpaused the recording, it also reminded me, the record itself, once again, it's a multi-action switch. Step 1, start recording. But you know how at the end, it's always the outro video, and it's 20 seconds for the end cards? I do that, for those that don't know, I do that on stream, because otherwise, what would happen is that I would have to basically render a video. Let's say it's a weekend stream and it's 6 hours long. I'd have to render these 6 hours to add a 20-second end card. So fuck it, I just do it in OBS. And over years, I simplified this because originally it's like I was a multimedia file, and then I would mute stream elements, and anyways, I realized eventually the easiest thing is to make it its own scene. So I have one scene where it's the YouTube outro for Shizzy Hollywood. One is YouTube outro for Shizzy Reacts, because they have different graphics. And so it literally, it mutes my mic, it deafens me in Discord if I'm in Discord, stops my music, switches to the scene, then there's a 20.5-second delay and it ends the recording, then it unmutes my mic and brings me back here. And so each scene, like in this one, we're on main, so if I go into, let's say, my 4:3 narrow, then it will bring me back to 4:3 narrow, naturally. Also, I'm going to show one thing that Kai probably knows about, that probably the rest of you don't, and that is a nested scene. So I explained before how right now, this all is a scene. This is my main scene, and the sources are the webcam, the display capture, the Spotify overlay, the chat overlay. The individual elements are sources, the entirety is a scene, right? A nested scene is quite simply a scene inside of a scene. And what I mean by that is if I turn off that, and I turn on my bordered webcam, on this scene, the border webcam is just border webcam. It's one thing. That's it. But realistically, if I go here, if I add this, will you guys see this? Where can I put this that you would... I don't think you can. Okay. It won't show it. Where would I put it? Okay, basically... So... we have the background image. Okay. Then... we have the standing webcam. So if I do this... with the standing webcam... we have the webcam. We have the weeb picture, the mind picture, the cry picture, the clown picture. Then we have also the tooth cling video, the background border, the purple one here, and then also the animated border that goes on the inside of that. Okay, so that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things in this scene, webcam border. So what doing a nested scene does is that if I go here, I add the webcam bordered scene to the main scene. So this on the main scene is listed as one thing, it's just webcam bordered. But if I do like that, it's all in the full screen scene that you just saw. But here it's only listed as one thing. Same as if I go to my be right back scene, I can do the same shit. It's all... Wait, is it not? Am I crazy? Oh no, webcam border lobby. It's a different... Sorry, my bad. It's a separate thing, right? Because here I don't have the animated border. Right, I forgot about that. Right. So that's a separate one. Now that is this. Let me just make sure everything is like reset. Okay, so anyways, all that to be said, a nested scene is so like this one thing on this scene is one thing, but in reality it's 10 things. I don't know if that makes sense. So whenever I take a standing break, I'm trying to like go in order, right? And we've covered like the majority of the shit. Like we're almost done, but we'll just finish this. Whenever I take a standing break, it turns off the webcam and it turns on the standing webcam, right? So if I press the button right now, you can see it changed the camera. So we turned off the webcam, we turned on the standing webcam, we muted the Yeti, we unmuted the headset, and now here what it also does is that in Discord, we're now using the headset. And if I press the button again, also, you can see that once again, the button is red. Just to make sure, like, again, it's kind of hard to fuck it up, but just to make sure everything is all good. So, I'll press it, now it's back to purple, and we're Gucci. But you can see that the second state, it turns off the standing webcam, turns on the sitting webcam, it mutes the headset mic, unmutes the Yeti, the main mic, and then it changes my Discord mic to the Yeti. And you can see here, if I go into the clock, each of these actions is only 1 millisecond. So all 5 of these take a total of 10 milliseconds. This is the outro, yeah. So it's amazing because before I had the Stream Deck and stuff, you can imagine I had to turn like manually with my mouse, turn off one camera, turn on another, mute one microphone, mute another. Now, I press my button, and I just stand here, and like I said, I have a tablet tie wrapped on the back of this chair, so when I'm standing, I have the chat right in front of me, and all that shit. It's so handy. Talk about all the bits? What do you mean all the bits? Like, what do you want to know? I explained the basic premises, but I could run it back. You mean like the standing shit? All the Shizzy HQ stuff? So I have a tablet here, hi, which has Stream Deck Mobile, and this is actually what I started on. So what I was saying before is I think 2 phones ago, when I got my phone, there was a promo where you got a free tablet, and my dad got a phone at the same time, and he got a free tablet. That's why I know it sounds bougie that I have like a Stream Deck tablet and a tablet on the back of my chair to read chat, but it's like they were both free. So I was like, how can I implement these into my setup, like in an efficient way? And at the beginning, it's like now everything is complicated and fancy just because I had this, and then I was like, how can I take it one step further? How can I take it one step further? Then I get the PC Panel Pro. Well, that's the thing, Hicks, is like now you look at it, and you're probably like, holy shit, this is awful. Well, it's like, keep in mind, this was all step by step, right? But now everything is so good and so automated. Like, if my Stream Deck breaks tomorrow, like I can't do my standing scenes because like things are set up in a way where like I need this. Even I'm gonna show you guys also even the PC panel, which controls my audio. Bro, this thing is so underrated. So to give you guys an idea, obviously this is a knob, so it controls volume, but also when you click it, it does something. So right now, this guy is my Discord call volume, so it's at 80%, right? When I click it, it toggles deafen and undeafen. Okay, then this guy is my current PC game. So like, let's say next week I'm going to stream Deep Rock Galactic. So I'll set it to this button. It'll the knob like this will be the volume, and if I click it, it will mute and unmute the game. So like, let's say right now, if I switch to Be Right Back, I'm playing Xbox, right? If I it's playing audio. If I change to Be Right Back, it'll mute the game because like the capture card won't be on. But if it's a PC game, like the volume is going to be there, so I have to mute it. So emulators, PC games, whatever, I always set it to this knob. Okay. Then this right here is my desktop audio, which is like my master audio for OBS. And so the button here is to toggle mute. This is my capture card. So same thing. There's a slider, and then this is toggle mute. This guy is Spotify. This guy is Opera GX, and this is toggle mute for my mic. So if I go to the bathroom, I just click this, and when I come back, I click it again. The thing that's fucking awesome is you'd assume that everything has to go from 0 to 100%, but if I show you here, my Spotify thing, the app itself is set to 100%, but the slider is set so that the bottom is 5% and the top is 20. The reason being, after testing, right now, the volume is set 5%. That's what I like it at when I'm speaking. If I'm running an intro, I'm going to the bathroom, I like it at 20%. Like right now, it overpowers me. But if I step out and I go to the bathroom, it's perfect volume. But the thing is that without it being just like one to the other, like this is smooth. Alright? And that's what's fucking awesome about this thing. Laura, thank you so much for the raid. How you doing, bestie? Isn't that fucking sick? You're awesome? Oh. 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 Laura. No, you. No, you. Laura, how you doing? Raiders, if it's your first time here. Good evening. We interrupt your regularly scheduled broadcast for this breaking news. My stream is being raided by insert streamer name here. Live on the scene, we have Shizzy Hollywood. Yes, hello Shiz. I don't know if you can even hear me right now because as you can see, we have quite the crowd behind us, and that is because insert streamer name here just raided the stream. I'm getting word that all of these raiders are very attractive and also very good in bed. This is fantastic news for the community, as you can imagine. What a sight to behold. What a great day. Back to you. Thank you, Shizzy. What a sight to behold indeed. We now return you to your regularly scheduled broadcast. Yeah, that's kind of sick. You gotta admit, that's kind of sick. It's so silly every time. Part of me, Laura, wants to update it. Because I feel like in 2024, just me saying like the viewers are good in bed, some people might be like, ugh. But also at the same time, it's like, that's my sense of humor. So if like you don't find it funny, get out. Kai, yeah, that mod feature is fucking awesome. Laura, did you see that? A mod can send I mean, it's anonymous, which is like whatever, but you know, sometimes you get like timed out or banned and you're like, what happened? You could send a warning and it says why, like you backseated or whatever. That's fair, Laura, that's fair. Laura, how are you doing? How was your stream? Raiders, how's it going? Welcome. My name is Shiz. I'm a variety streamer. If it's your first time here, we do it all. Usually it's gameplay. Tonight, what we're doing is I just decided to do a deep dive on how my stream deck works. Because if it's your first time here, you're unaware. Although that little scene gave you an idea. But yeah, I do a lot of complicated stuff with my stream deck. I have a lot of like automation, optimization, I'm obsessed with being optimal and productive, and so yeah, over the years I've just made my stream deck a fucking monster. And tonight I decided to show how the sausage is made and give you a little behind the scenes. So if you came for gameplay, sorry, but if you want to see some nerd shit, welcome. Playing Final Fantasy IX, how's that going? I'm gonna play Final Fantasy VII OG soon. I just make scene changes in command. I mean, that's what most people do, but I'm me. Laura, take a guess at how many steps my most complicated multi-action has. Before we continue. One button. Okay, calm down. One? You're close. $25. Yeah, Hicks, that's the thing, is like, you have to acknowledge the warning before you can continue chatting. Which I think is an amazing feature. It's still not gonna prevent people from being fucking useless idiots, but it's cool. So Kai, okay, before we continue, 25. Look at this, Laura. My elevator scene. Because it has layers and shit. So it mutes the Yeti mutes the voice mod just in case they're active. Unmutes the headset. Discord deafen. Switches to the elevator scene. Then there's a 3-second delay because of the transition. Stops the music if there's any playing. There's an 8-second delay so that I can walk into frame. Because when I do a setting scene, I use the same green screen that you see right now. So literally, I press the button and I walk here out of frame, and I have this tablet on my bed that has Stream Deck Mobile. I turn whatever buttons I need to on and off. I walk back into frame, I do the bit, and then I walk back out. I hide myself so that I can walk back in without you seeing anything. So there's an 8-second delay for me to be able to walk into frame. I'll show you actually right now, Laura, but when I do it, I walk in front of the elevator, right? And then there's a delay, and the layer comes into play. So now if I move my arm like this, I'm inside the elevator. So it looks like I actually like walked into it. And then the doors close. Or sorry, the doors turn on. There's a delay. There's an elevator ding. The doors close. And then it changes scenes. Then while I'm in this other scene, in the background, which will, like I was saying before, one of my favorite things about the Stream Deck that people don't realize how amazing it is like here we're on the lounge scene, and all of these actions here happen in the other scene that's not active. Right? And so like if you're doing stuff without a Stream Deck and you're just using a mouse, you could literally only do stuff that's like on the scene that you're on, unless you're using studio mode. But in this case, it's resetting the splash duplicate, it's resetting the layers. But I'll show you right now. Kai, check this. This is what the elevator looks like. So we switched to the headset. We switched here. Now you'll see I walked in front of the elevator, right? But you'll see now I'm inside of the elevator because of the timers and the layers. So I'm doing the bit, doing the shtick, whatnot. There's going to be a ding. Now the doors close, and it automatically changes to this scene, which automatically has its music. And then I once again turn off the layer. So I was explaining before, but basically I noticed when I was starting to do all this shit that when you turn a camera on and off, there's like almost like a ghost image of the last thing it saw before it turned off. So what would happen is I would have like literally like a flash like this, and then I would come in from the side, and it would ruin the immersion, and I couldn't fucking figure out a solution. So what I ended up doing is, like in this case, I have the background image, and then I have the webcam, and I'm not actually turning the camera on and off. I actually have a duplicate of the background in the foreground. So the camera's always on, I'm turning on the duplicate that's hiding me. And that lets me walk in and out of frame, because again, like if you saw me go from my chair to there, it ruins immersion, right? But realistically, I do this. I do my bit, then I go out of frame, and then I go back to my chair. But like here, I just turn the duplicate back on. So I walk back to my chair, and we're back to normal. Sounds good, Laura. I'm not going to be going too much longer, but dress up as a realtor and show off Shizzy HQ, that's fire. And one thing that's nice too, Kai, is I set it so my buttons are all purple, obviously, but when something's active, it changes to red so that I know that like the button worked properly, and that I'm like visible. I press it again, and it's purple. So that's how I do the standing bits. I'll usually, like, if I do like the simple version, is it mutes the Yeti, unmutes the voice mod, mutes the Yeti, mutes the voice mod, unmutes the headset, deafens Discord, changes the scene, then there's a 3-second delay and it stops the music, because I also, like I was saying before, sometimes like on the intro or the breaks or whatever, I'm playing music that's safe on Twitch but not on YouTube. So to avoid bullshit, all of the standing scenes have their own music. With a 3-second delay to account for the transition animation. And so it's just 3 seconds. It stops music in case there's any music playing. And there you go. And I have to hork. And yeah, man, between the Stream Deck and the PC panel, everything is just like, it's so far. Like, let's say there's some stuff that I could optimize even more. The problem is sometimes it's situational. Like if I go to the bathroom, sometimes I talk a bit before I actually go, and sometimes I talk a bit when I come back, right? So I don't want to automate it. But in this case, what I do is usually, let's say I come back, I press pause, we play our game, whatever. So situational, nice dude. So I'll press my be right back button, which changes to the be right back scene, and while it's doing that, usually I press skip, and on the PC panel I slide the volume from the bottom to the top, so it goes from 5 to 20%. I'll show you. So I switch scenes, I skip forward so it plays a song, I slide the volume up, and then I click this guy to mute my mic. And all of that is like nice and smooth. You don't even, by the time the transition's done, everything is done. Sometimes I'm even at my chair already. And when I come back, it's the opposite. Unmute the mic, slide the volume down, pause the music, and press be right back again. So everything is like down to a science. So I'm just trying to think. We're pretty much almost done, because a lot of this stuff is like reactions 4-3 web 4-3 now, card opening, drawing, charity. Like I said, those are all like basically duplicates, so I don't have to cover them. Let's see behind the card. See, personally, I think it's fun. That's one thing I think that's really cool lately in like the current generation. Back in the day, in any trade, anything, people always hid their, like, I've heard about like musicians turning their back to the crowd to do their guitar solos so people didn't see what they did with their hands. And you look at now, like Tim Henson has a GoPro on his forehead and he shows you his POV when he's practicing, you know? the bassist from Sleep Token 3 has a camera at the tip of his bass showing you what he's doing. 2 has a drum cam. Jay Weinberg has drum cams. Eloy Casagrande has drum cams. Harris Heller constantly puts Stream Deck and OBS guides. Nutty. I don't like when people flat out just leech or copy and put no effort. Right? And I'm gonna give you a perfect example. One person I don't speak to anymore. I gave shit for always leeching off me and never putting in any time or effort, and I was just assuming that I was gonna fix his problems. And literally the day that I was like, maybe I'm being too hard on him, and maybe I'm too obsessed with like figuring shit out on my own, maybe I'm just being an asshole. And then that day he asked me how to set up the Discord overlay. And I'm gonna show you how much work it takes. Okay, it's changed. Now it's the second result. At the time, it was the first. So him asking me told me that he literally made 0 effort and just, oh, Shiz will fix it. And that's where I'm like, okay, there's a difference between, I'm like, yo, this is how I do my Stream Deck, and you're like, oh, that's cool, I should do something similar, compared to like, I'm not even going to try, I'm just going to be like, oh, Shiz knows. You know? There's one where it's like, I want to help, and there's another where it's like, I want to break your face. You know what I mean? So, but especially, I don't know, like, I know some way, like, I'll send this to the Sega Master and he might learn something, or take inspiration for something, but he, like, you know, puts in effort and time, and so it's like, it's cool. Or those of you that don't stream and just want to see, like, how I do shit. I personally think it's cool. I watch so many videos on musicians, like how Tim Henson makes a Polyphia song. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know how Ableton works, but it's cool to see the process, even if I don't understand every single element. Hell yeah, Kai. Tomorrow, Rinakai Hollywood goes live. Okay, so to go back to what we were saying before, with webcam bordered and the nested scene, which is a scene inside of a scene. So all that to say that here, all it is this, right? This is the webcam bordered, but realistically, it's the background, it's the border, the animated border, the webcam setting, whatever, right? So it's the same, like webcam zoomed is its own scene. So I just turn it on and off. Like this is just a toggle. Same with curse cam, and this is just a filter. This is just like a fisheye filter. Okay. Thinking video is what this is like one of the things where like if I need a button, this is gonna get axed because I've used this like 3 times in like 3 years. This is one of those things where like I just wanted to see if I could figure out how to do this, and I did, and it was fun. So this is once again using OBS move filters, which is, I'll show you right now. If you weren't there before, right? So you need the move plugin, but it's probably the best plugin on OBS. But if you see my filters, you can see I have 7 million filters, and they're all move stuff, and I arranged them alphabetically because otherwise, good luck finding anything. But if I go to thinking video, there's thinking left and there's thinking right. And as you can see, whereas all the other filters are 300 milliseconds, these guys are set to 10 seconds. Okay? I know it looks disgusting, Kai, but you know what? I'm going to show you a perfect example of why. If I go into Discord right now, you can see my camera's here, Discord is over there, Spotify's there. If I want to play Mario Kart, I press my Mario Kart button, and the chat is where I want it, the Discord overlay is where I want it, the Spotify is where I want it, my camera is where I want it. If I decide now I want to play Call of Duty, they move. If I decide I want to play Overwatch, it also changes the type of camera. Because my brain is cooked just looking at. Okay, well here I'm gonna break it down, because obviously these presets are like the games that I play a lot, right? Like Mario Kart I play a lot. So I know where I want the camera to be. Right? I know where I want Discord to be, I know where everything should be. Power Wash Simulator, all that shit, right? So let's say Overwatch. This is where I like everything. So those move filters here that I was just showing you. So a lot of them is just like, okay, right now this is the bordered camera, right? So I have some where it's like top left, top right, middle right. But then and then there's some where it's like not specifically exactly the corner, it's like lowered a bit, and so it'll be like camera, whatever. But as you can see, if I switch the display capture, it turns off the camera and it turns on the border camera. Webcam border left top, as you can see, we're on the left top of the screen. And now Discord, so Discord is specifically set for Overwatch 2 because I want it to be directly under my camera, not in the middle, no nothing, I want it to be directly. And now, I don't want shit overlapping, so Spotify goes on the right, the top right, and then the chat goes on the right middle. Does your computer not blow up? Because this type of stuff is not very intensive. And also you gotta keep in mind that all of this happens in half a second and it only does it once. It's not something that's continuously rendering or something. The shit moves once and you're done. More so the scenes, take a guess at how much OBS is using right now, keeping in mind that I'm streaming and recording. Like the 0.3. If I do my display capture here, you can see right here, 0 drop frames, CPU 0.6%, and if you see here at the bottom, this is my HW info, CPU percent is at 2.1, and temperature is 48 Celsius, which is nothing. GPU is 26% and 48 degrees, again nothing, and then RAM is 32% and VRAM is 46, again nothing. Granted, I'm not playing a video game, but it's these types of things are not demanding. It's when you have shit that's going on, like if I had like a blur on my camera that was moving like all the time, that's when it's like. But for shit to move just once, it's nothing. But that's the thing, is like I set up these filters, so you can see this is like this is a filter. So Discord, Overwatch, Spotify right top, and whatever. But that's why these games that I play a lot, like a DVD screen, yeah. Or like let's say Slay the Spire. I know I'm gonna play Slay the Spire again, right? Compared to some games, like you know, most of the time it's like Xenoverse 2. I beat it, we're done. And if I want to play tomorrow, it's like, okay, I know that's like the webcam right, the chat on the right middle. Did something just break? What? The fuck just happened? Did I press something? Okay, that was weird. Like, let's say Slay the Spire. I'm like, okay, let's say tonight I was expecting like, okay, maybe if this doesn't take the whole stream, we'll play Slay the Spire. All I have to do is I press the button and I'm good. I'm done. But again, I only do that for the shit that I expect to do like a lot. And then now, okay, you know what? I'm Slay the Spire. I keep getting wrecked. It's annoying. Let's just do some Mario Kart. Done. But I only do that for the shit that I do a lot. Like I'm gonna play Power Wash Simulator when it has updates again. All right, we're done. I'm ready. You know, so and it's the same for all that. Like if I want to do webcam left, right, middle, a big standing camera, do that again, and then like I have like presets like there, and then I have those like filters like this, right? Takes honestly hundreds of hours, if not thousands. Because you gotta keep in mind that this is all years and years of time. Not only that, but fine-tuning And at first, before I realized like how much I could copy paste, at first I didn't have as many things set to copy paste. Like now, let's say my scenes folder is the same everywhere, right? So let's say today I decide I'm done with the clone facility scene. I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna do something new. I'll literally just copy my scenes folder, and I'll go to 4:3 wide scenes. I'll paste it. I'll go to 4:3 narrow. I'll paste it. And that's why. So now, let's say I decide. I press the wrong button again. Is the audio okay on stream? I press the wrong thing. Let's say I decide I want to play some Undertale all of a sudden, so I go to 4:3 narrow. Everything is set. We're all good. I never want to like be in a position where I'm like, oh shit, this thing isn't ready. Same as like I said, I've only used the charity scene one time in 2020 with Kai when we did our first scavenger hunt. If I need my charity scene, I can use it right now. I've used the card opening scene twice. I've used the drawing scene once. But the way I see it, it's like they were already set up. And the setting it up is the long part. So if I just have to do some copy paste or like fix some mics or whatever, it's whatever. The only thing that's fucking annoying is whenever there's a Windows update or a SteelSeries update or a Logitech update or whatever, if I go, let's say here, to give you an example, this is how I check my shit, okay? Oh, I also just realized I totally forgot to get out of the Discord thing for the example. All those updates, especially Windows, they tend to change your mics or your speakers to default. And if you have multiple devices, that's a fucking pain in the ass. Like in my case, this guy is the Yeti. And also, if you're wondering why do I use voice mod as a separate mic, there's a tiny bit of latency. Like I know Sega, he doesn't have that for some reason. So his voice changer is just like his main mic. And then he'll just change the voice. For me, there's a little bit of a delay. So it makes no sense to constantly have a bit of a delay or have to delay my video to sync or whatever. I just have the voice changer set as a second mic and then the headset is a third. So what I do is if I want to change my voice, I have a voices folder, and these realistically, this is all like one long bit that like I've done it, so I could get rid of these buttons, and I think I'm just gonna add more voices. And also realistically, I never use like the Blocks voice or Echo. Although Echo could be used, but like Alien and Blocks I never use. But I have it set as a multi-action where it mutes my Yeti, it unmutes my voice mod, changes my Discord to voice mod, so that way if I'm in a call now, the people on the call will hear the bit as well. Then when I press the button again, it mutes voice mod, it unmutes the Yeti, and it changes Discord back to Yeti. And same thing as before, like right now I put cave. So now it sounds like I'm in a cave, and you can see that the button went red, just so that I'm sure that I know that I'm on the voice changer, and I know to press the button again to change it back. Also, you see these samplers? There's Yeti sampler loop, voice mod sampler, and then playback, and right? So if I do Yeti sampler, what? Oh, okay, see, perfect example. One of the updates fucked this up. So the playback device is supposed to be my headset. So if I do it now, Yeti sampler. Okay, right? So now, see, like now I have to fix this. But now, this luckily is the same in all of my folders. So when I fix it, I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it in all my folders instead of redoing it one by one. But now, here, this is set to a loop, right? So if I do like this, Yeti sampler loop, Yeti sampler loop, Yeti sampler loop, Yeti sampler loop, and then I press stop. And then same thing with voice mod. Voice mod sampler. Same thing, it got broken because of the fucking update. Voice mod sampler. Right? Now here, voice mod sampler loop. Voice mod sampler loop. Voice mod sampler loop. Voice mod. Alright. And now the playback. Like right now, perfect example, we have the music playing. So now I'm gonna pause the music, but if I press this, we have the music again, right? And now and then you have your stop and clear. So if I press clear this, clear this, clear this, clear this, clear this, clear this. And if ever I want, if I go to my videos folder, sampler MP3s, all of these were the sounds I just made. I'm going to delete them in this case. But if there was something I wanted to keep, let's say an alert, a bit, whatever. But actually, I'll show you right now. So like right now, I just fixed all of them. So recording device, capture device is the Yeti. Playback device is a Steel Series. Capture device Yeti, playback headset, voice mod headset, voice mod headset, headset. So now, literally what I would do is I would just copy this, and now I go into reactions, delete it, paste it. I could theoretically just paste it over, but just to make sure, I delete it, I paste it, and now I know that my voice changer and my samplers are good everywhere. I think, just to be sure, I think I was in drawing already, but just to be sure. Well, now same thing. If ever sound effects, right? Like the baseball heavens, like
pointing toward the heavens,
right? All that, and you can see they all have different volume sliders or whatever. Again, because of me, if ever I delete a sound, I decide I want to re-add it, or something happens, or whatever, because I'm me, I have backups and screenshots of not only everything OBS, but Stream Deck too. So if I go to my sounds, I have every fucking picture. I know exactly how loud it should be. Everything. All my multi-actions. All that shit. Now, yeah, like I'm gonna show you the thinking video, okay? So again, moving filters. The move filters are just, you basically tell it, I'm gonna show you again for those that didn't see it. The move filter, again, the move plugin is probably the best plugin for OBS. In this case, it's a thinking video, but basically thinking left, I mean, you can see the source is thinking video. You could set a start delay if you want. It's custom duration. In this case, it's 10 seconds. And delay, you could have easing, no easing, all kinds of shit. But here you can see there's the position, right? But basically, all this is saying is the same as if I want my webcam border to be on the top left. It's because that's the position I gave it. So the thinking video has two filters, right? So right now, it's taking 10 seconds to go to the left, right? And you guys don't see it on your end, but on the Stream Deck, you actually see a progress bar. Like it's a green circle, and I can show it to you right now. It's super fucking handy. I'll show it to you. I'm just gonna screen mirror to the reflector app. Just feel my new for real dog. Thanks, man. I'm just glad that some of you at least find this interesting, because I think this is like my favorite part of this shit now. So now if I go to my camera and I do a video, right? So if I do that thinking thing, right, I don't even need to record a video because you just see. If I do this, You see the progress bar? And so it's only once the action is completely filled, and it's like the way that it fills is basically the amount of steps and how they're timed, right? So mirroring, so that's a really handy tool. But in that case, it took 10 seconds to go there, right? And then now this off camera, it turns off, and then the second filter is thinking right, which is 300 milliseconds, because the video is off, but it moves it back there. Does that make sense? It resets it. And once again, that's how I did the bullet trains in my intros. It was easier than like in DaVinci Resolve and shit, because I was just so familiar with the move filter already that I just did those parts in OBS. Then the fake offline as well, because the actual offline, this is why I have to be careful how I do shit. It mutes my mic, it stops the music, it posts my socials message in chat, switches to the offline scene, plays the video, 36-second delay, and then it stops the stream. Then there's a 2-second delay, it sets the chat into emote only mode, another 2-second delay, it goes back to the main scene, and it unmutes my mic. So the fake offline, I obviously don't want it to do all that. So it offline, stops music, goes to the offline video, and it mutes, sorry, it deafens me in Discord. And then I press it again to come back when I think the bit has been done, it's funny, you know? Then I have a simple clip button. So this is like, if I think something's funny, or a potential, like, this could be a good Twitter clip, this could be a good TikTok, whatever, I literally just press this, and it's just a 30-second clip, and then like afterwards I can go and fine tune it or whatever, but at least I don't have to like search like, ah, fuck, when was that funny part in the 6-hour stream? I don't have to, because I have this. Then the kill cams and mics, this is like if ever something happens, if I hear one of them fall, or if I hear my door open or whatever, this is like my kill switch. It, all my mics mute, I deafen, my cameras all turn off, it pauses my recording, that's like my whatever. Headset is for just if I'm trying to show you guys an example or just do a bit or whatever. I don't want to change the cameras, I just want to change the microphone. It'll just mute the Yeti, unmute the headset, and change it in Discord, and then same thing. Yeah, and then voices, like I said, I already showed you guys. So that also, you know, the bleep, obviously that goes without saying. Save replay, load replay, I've showed you guys that. Sounds, obviously they just play sound. The whiteboard, like I said, very simple. The only thing is, the whiteboard plugin is each scene has to have its own whiteboard. So with hotkeys, fun fact about hotkeys is most keyboards have up to F12 keys, but can register up to F24. So on the Stream Deck, what's nice is you can set a hotkey and you can just go into F keys, and so you can see like I have F14, I have F20, whatever, because these are buttons that are not actually physically on my keyboard, so I know I'm not going to accidentally hit them and fuck something up, but I can still trigger what I want. So it's super handy. Display capture, obviously that's just, you know, that. Console input, PC input, I showed that earlier, how I set up, control my monitor so that I can change between HDMI and analog within a button. It's literally faster than if I manually press the little like nipple at the back of the monitor and, you know, like go into menu and change or whatever. If you guys missed it earlier, this is the program, Control My Monitor. I literally just had to learn and fuck around at whatever. I found out input select is what changes. And you can see current value, maximum value. So possible values are 1, 5, and 6. So I realized that 1 and 6 were like HDMI and analog. So by default, the hotkeys, I think F2 and F3 do +5 and -5. So it was perfect. So as you can see, it's set to 60, which is input select. But in the multi-action, because of that, it goes 60. It does 6 so that it selects input select, and then F3 for this one, and F2 for this one, and then it minimizes the thing. And again, advanced launcher, it's set so that it brings anything to the front if it's already running, and then control my monitor is just moves the specific application. In this case, for some reason, if I only have this one, it doesn't work. If I only have this one, it doesn't work. But together, it works. So I don't know why, but it works. So you can see, like right now, it's always minimized. It's never fully closed because that's the only way it could work. But I minimize it, and now I see PC. If I press console input, now I see my HDMI. This is what I see. And that's it. And now I just changed it for you guys, and now I pressed it, and now that's what I see. And it's literally faster than if I physically press the button, which is insane. And then also, for I think the last thing we're gonna talk about is you may notice that in my scenes folders, I have Be Right Back, Lobby, and Webcam Border Full Screen, and I have them again here. I could get rid of these buttons if I need to, but my whole thing, again, optimization, productivity, these are just the things that I use the most. Like when I'm in this folder, what am I going to do? I'm going to have a P. If I'm playing a multiplayer game, I'm going to go to the lobby. And if I'm recording multiple videos, I'm going to go here and, hey YouTube, what's cracking today? We're watching a guy gel, you know? And then I press the button again and it brings me back. And it actually in this one, you can see I'm not touching shit. This one, because it's set for intros, we have like a, I think 10-second delay, and then it does the call to action. And now the multi-action is done. Whereas lobby, it's just gonna bring me to the lobby scene. We're playing Halo, we're playing Call of Duty, whatever. Okay, we found a game. Alright, let's come back. But at least it's more interactive, seeing chat, seeing, you know what I mean? And then, same thing, I'm going to the bathroom. Gonna bleed the lizard, as it were. And if I'm in a voice chat, I have the Discord overlay set over here, as well as the lobby scene. And originally, I got to the point where I literally set it so that, like, let's say I'm playing Mario Kart, so Discord is, like, on the left. Well, then here, the Spotify will go to the right, and the Discord will go on the left. Eventually, I said, you know what, fuck it. At that point, it's getting, like, there's so much going on for no reason. So I was like, fuck it. Spotify will always stay on the left, Discord will always stay on the right. I can live with that. Because, you know, and even here, you can see there's no animated border here. And that's literally just because I'm going to do this just to reset the multi-action. But if I go to the lobby, it's because here, it makes more sense to have the webcam and the chat be uniform. There's no animation, but the game capture has the animation going. Right? And it draws your eye to it. It's because otherwise it looked pretty stupid that had the animation, this had the animation, that didn't. And then I had like resized it, added the background so that the chat has a darker background, it pops out a bit more. You know, we had done a whole bunch of shit like that. But I think I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. If I go back to overlays, I covered that. Webcam presets, I covered that. And here, I mean, like, these aren't technically webcam presets, but like they fall into webcam extras, you know? So I just leave it there. Like, just pressing this and whatever. That's pretty much it, man. Like, I guess, and even, yeah, I have this. This is like literally a shortcut. Instead of having to open Steam to open Wallpaper Engine, I could just press this button. And we have Wallpaper Engine. And especially like on the weekend, like let's say I'm with the lawn and now I feel like complete shit. I don't want to nap for an hour. Even though I know that my monitors won't get burning because it's 2024. I'm old and so I'm paranoid. So I'll put the Wallpaper Engine on. I'll change the PC input. I'll minimize everything so that at least we have a video going instead of a static screen. Right? Yeah, man, I think that's literally pretty much it. Like, all these, like I said, they're the same thing. It's just that they're more minimal because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't apply. But for the most part, it's the same. It's just like that, you know, if I go into charity and I press webcam, it's only going to turn off the webcam in the charity scene. Hicks, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. That's, I was like, I just hope that people don't find it, like, crazy boring. Because to me, this shit is so cool. And it's so fun, like, figuring out the problem. Like, even now, I figured out that in the replay scene, something is fucked. And so I'm gonna go fix that. I think it's because... Actually, you know what? It might just be because of the update. There was a source clone update this week. It might have just been that. So again, I'm going to just show you what I'm talking about. If I go here, if I play a replay, there's a 2-second delay. You see right now, there's a blur behind us. In theory... that should always just be there, because instead of... It's not the same... So the source clone plugin, what it allows you to do is... How can I explain this? Okay, I have a good idea. Alright. So, you see how I have the glow on now? Actually, well, let's make it more obvious. We have the bright filter on, right? So if I go to be right back, because it's the same camera, the filter is going to, like, go from scene to scene. Right? So no matter where I go, anywhere that uses this camera is going to now have this filter on. So the reason that I had the source clone plugin for the replay is for the exact opposite. When you have a clone, you can now put a blur on the clone, but the original won't have the blur. So if I play a replay, you can see that right here, like the replay itself is crystal clear, but the background is blurred so that this pops more. Does that make sense? But in order to do that, or not only that, but sorry, not even, but like now, when the replay ends, we'll cut back here, and we would have the blur on the shit around me, because it would be the same thing. But by having a clone, you avoid that problem. But for some reason, if I look at my multi-action, the capture card doesn't have a blur. And now I'm wondering, if I go main with replay, Aver Media clone, blur, that's fine. So if we're gonna test something here. If I delete the step of having the blur on, now in theory, it's you save the replay, there's a 2-second delay, you go to the replay scene, 20-second delay to play the replay, and then you come back. Is it working properly? We're gonna wait because we need at least 20 seconds. So actually what I'll do is, in the meantime, here we don't have a replay. Oops. Yeah, okay, so this has the same shit. Weird, okay. This song, it's so repetitive. So let's just wait. So we have a good test here. Theoretically though, the fact that when I went here, like the second line, there was nothing. I think, in theory, it wasn't doing anything. Because either I changed the plugin, or the update changed it, or whatever. But again, because it's a clone, in theory, it should be fine. So if I go back to my main folder, I play replay. Gonna do a thing. Now it's a 2-second timer. Okay, the background is blurred because it's a clone. Doesn't affect the original. That's all good. So I can go now into all of those multi-actions and I could delete those steps. And I'm going to once again show you. One of the reasons that I have everything so perfect is now if I go here, I'm literally going to Control Window S, do a screenshot, right? And literally in Paint, boom, right? Save, boom. We're going to go to multi-actions, and this would be play replay, and we're going to replace it. There you go. And now next time I do my USB updates, there you go. Actually, before I forget, and if you want to see how I really like the actual Shiz experience is, I would do this, and then I would do this, and I would do this, and then I would go here, and I would wait 20 seconds, and I would test it, and I would do this for every single scene. And it was the capture card blur, so I'm going to test the capture card, and actually I'll turn on the Xbox, and I check it literally one by one just to make sure, because I'd rather do it all like this and it takes forever, but I do it off stream. Okay, cool, it all works, and now I don't have any surprises on stream. Somehow it still worked without it, but so now if I do play replay, and Kai, you know what's crazy is you see how like now it's a replay of a console. My display capture button is not just toggling the display capture, it's a multi-action because it toggles it on the scene and then the replay scene. It's like right now the blurry background image is the capture card, but if I'm playing a PC game, I do this, and we're gonna wait 20 seconds. Like let's say I'm playing an emulator, and now I play replay. The background image that's blurry is the display capture, not the capture card. So it matches what is in the replay. Now the only thing I'm wondering is like that one little part where it showed my other email. Like, do I blur it just in case? Realistically, it's like my main email is like on my Twitter, on my Instagram, my YouTube, my Twitch. Like, who cares? I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. No, I'm me, so I'm gonna blur it and delete the VOD. But yeah, that's my stream deck, man. That's how the sausage is made. I thought that was a lot of fun. I hope you agree. So it's very much a lot of hours fine-tuning and trying to think of ways to optimize and streamline shit. Because again, it's like it took a while to set up the preset for Mario Kart, but now anytime I want to play Mario Kart, I press a button and I'm ready to play. And that's it. And it's so worth it. And then there's stuff like, you know, recording again. Like when I end this recording right now, it's gonna do the outro video. Realistically, how people do that is they do it like tonight. Like I said, I'm gonna edit just because I'm gonna block that one spot because I'm me. But realistically, 99.9% of the time, I end my recording. It plays the 20-second video for the end card, and it's whatever. It's like, if you guys can't deal with 20 seconds, like, okay, well, too bad. But for me, especially a weekend stream, if I have let's say Little Nightmares 2 was 6 hours, 6.5 hours, the recording, it would take me like 4 hours to render it just to insert that 20-second clip. So fuck that. I just play it live, natively on OBS, and if you can't deal with it, that's your problem, you know. And there. And even things like that though, like before, I had, like I was saying, the offline video like in this scene. So it's like it would turn off stream elements, turn on the video, turn off the video, turn back on stream elements, and then I was like, wait, why don't I just make the offline thing its own scene? And I just cut to the scene and mute my mic and turn off the music, and it was like a 6 action thing instead of like 20 actions. And but it's like things where sometimes you're so used to doing things a certain way. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back to that elevator scene, because it's 25 actions. That's my most complicated multi-action. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back to it thinking I could trim the fat, only to realize, like, no, I literally made it for what it does. It is as efficient as it can be. It's just that it needs that much shit going on. Because, like, the doors need to turn on once the top layer is on, and then they need to move when this timer goes off. You know what I mean? Like, some shit is simple, and some is not. But it's yeah, like once you figure it out and you have it, once you have it like done the first one time, you're good. The only thing that's really annoying is the Stream Deck itself. The buttons are very, like, the response time is amazing. They're the Stream Deck itself is fucking awesome. The Stream Deck mobile, at least on a tablet, sometimes the buttons kind of get like stuck. So that's another reason why I put it so that, like, if it's the camera's off, it's purple. If the camera's on, it's red. So I know, like, if I'm should be it like on or off camera or whatever. The only thing is if it's a static image, like the lounge I showed you guys before, it's like whatever. You can turn, if the button gets stuck, you turn the image on and off while you're out of frame. No one will notice. But if it's a video, like the rare, like I have an intro scene and it's when it's a video, right? Whatchamacallit, those, it's annoying because that, if the button gets stuck, it's fucked. Because I have it set where the video is another layer to hide me, so that they're synced, and when I turn it off, the videos are synced, but you have one shot. If the button gets stuck, you're just fucked. Like I could still continue, but it's gonna look stupid. Anyways, that being said, I'm going to end the stream and the recording because my stomach just hit me because I've been drinking too much beer. So thank you for watching. I'll be back on Friday with Summer Games Fest, and I hope to see you there. Peace!